Okay guys, so I have finished the bindings now. They didn't take that long to do really. And the good thing with these is you can actually put them together or get longer pieces, whatever. And you can sew them together. You'd sew them on, there's a way to do it where you sew them like that and then it turns like that and it comes out straight on both sides, see, like that. And then you just snip one piece off and it's continuous. And you can put them on a roll like ribbon and that for, you know, if you're doing projects like this. But I've made the two different sizes now, the 1.5 inch and the 2.5 inch. Yeah, they are in inches, not centimetres. And that's a good proportion of everything done today. It's been fun. We've got this part done now. I'm just going to loop these over the back of a chair to keep them straight until I need to use them. And the same goes with these. And tomorrow, or maybe even later tonight, when I've got more time, I will be putting them on. Now, I am going to be using a sewing machine in these videos. You don't have to. You can hand sew. It would take longer, but you can hand sew everything. As long as you've got an iron, a needle and some cotton, you can do all these stages just like that. So you don't need a machine. It's just that I find it quicker with machine and I'm no good at hand stitching much. Right, let's get sewing. I've put some navy cotton in the machine, navy bobbin, and let's put it on and we will start sewing. Though I don't mind going over navy on that pink, really. So we can start now. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this piece off here and cut this piece off as well. Right, and then I'm going to take this first pin out. I'm going to need this near me, this little pin thing. I'll stick it in there for a minute because I'm going to need to put all the pins back on it. It's just getting this first one. Even though it's been ironed down, it still comes up, do you know what I mean? Right, so I'm going to put that under, feed it in a bit. Hopefully, see, it's trying to come out. Right, so let's try and get it under again. There we go. Right, put that down. Let's go for it. That's fine. That's on. And that's our first bit of top stitching. And there as well. So what I do with that now is, because it's got a overhang, let me take this machine back a bit, turn it off for a second. Right, So it's got these overhangs. We just cut it off like you would with paper, really, you know. A fabric is a lot like paper. Right. I don't usually cut them off until I finish something in case I need to adjust something. But that one is actually done on the top there. And I've got to do the bottom one next. I don't know if you can see or not. There. So I've got to do this bottom one next. That one's sewn nicely. I will, once they're all on, see this gap here where I've sewn over it previously with this white line. I will go right onto the end there and sew it right round again, and then it won't have that lip. So I'm going to get on with sewing the bottom of this one, and then I've got to place the sides on. Right, now I've sewn the top and the bottoms on, I'm going to place the sides on. So this one has got that fold that machine done, that little machine, but that's all right because I probably won't be using that bit anyway. So we need to do the other sides of it and put that on and fix them on so they go round as well. So we're going to start pinning that on. Hopefully I'll get a nice, no, I want it nicer than that. Sometimes it doesn't lay flat and you've got to keep reapplying the pin until you can get it to how you want it. Right, well, we'll see how that bit comes out. Hold on a minute. Let's get it nice and straight. It's got to be that halfway mark. And also on the back. As I said, you can actually iron that, which I should have done really. If I'd thought about it, probably I would have ironed it over. So you take your bias, hang on, you take your strip of bias while it's folded like that, and then you fold it down like that, and then you just iron it again over, and then it will give you that crease down the middle. At the moment I'm toying where it is, keeping it on both sides and hoping that my creases from the original bit keep in, and it's working. But let me get another pin. I'm trying to get a smaller one. And then we just need to pin it at the end as well. Just onto there. It won't probably, it did go free. So make sure it's all on. And then I'm going to pin it on the other side as well. Pin this piece on. And that should hold that side in. There we go, it's on. Right, so that's the other two ends. So I'm going to sew that now, and then I'll show you after. Right, I've sewn round 3 times. One line at the top, in the middle. There's still some little bits of cotton here and there that I've got to take off. And then a thin line there. And then I've cut my edges and done a very thin line there to stop it from fraying. But this is a finished. Now, usually I don't get this buckle in the front. The reason I've got the buckle is because I've done the patchwork remember I've got the interfacing and the back in. If I was to do the lines throughout, like you would with patchwork, and then do like a free motion design over it, I wouldn't have got this. It's because everything's come down to here. You see, like, it's gathered like a fabric bubble, if you know what I mean. But yes, it's nice. That's the cover. And see, that won't fray then, and it's done on the inside as well. I like it like that. And once it's all together, don't worry about that bit so much. I'm going to iron it, and though that won't take it out, I've got a moffet to put on the front of it, and I can also cover this up with something or other if I want to. But that's our fabric journal cover made. I've still got to do the other one, so I'm going to sew that around, do all of it around, and then I will show you that. But this makes it so much stronger on the edges. It stops all that fray that you would normally get. Let me show you by this one, which you would normally get all this happening constantly, you see, from your fabric. So it stops all of that. And it looks good, I think. It looks good. But that's how I put on my bias. And as I said, I'll be back once I've done the other one. And that's the amount of scrap I got out of that. And I can save these bits of scrap for another project. I know they're only tiny little pieces and there's a lot of cotton in them and that. But I have got a mini project to go, but I'm not going to be sharing that just yet because I've got all this to do, but I will do. This one I've done as well. Let me show you. So it gives it a nice edge as well, all the way around. I've just gone over and just done the little bits on the edges so they don't fray neither. And I've done the same thing with this one. There will be little bits of cotton here and there because my table's full up of cotton. But they've come out really nice. I like the way they've come out. I do need to iron them because now they've been all stitched together, they do need an iron a bit. And they're ready to go now to put the papers inside, etc, etc. So before I do all that, I'm going to do some dyed paper in the next video. And, well, it depends what part this is. But that's the next thing I'm going to do. So tomorrow I will be doing some dyed paper, and I'm going to do it my way that I originally do everything. Usually, if I'm knocking up a fabric cover and it's just plain and it's not patchworked and all that, I'll do it with a piece of fabric and then just stitch around the edge, put border around the edge, or do this bias around it. I've done it like this because I want it to be a certain way. So tomorrow, dyed papers, and then we'll carry on from there. So we're still not halfway done yet. Okay, catch you in the next part.